Welcome back to the Professor of Perseverance podcast. I'm Dr. James Purdue, the Professor of Perseverance himself, and here again with a new podcast, with a new guest to help fire you up, to get you motivated, get you inspired, to get you up and going past your struggle, to help you kick it into teeth, kick it into butt, moving down the road, starting something new. Our guest today, Dr. Willie Jolley. He has been described as a world-class, award-winning speaker and singer, best-selling author, media personality, also named Motivational Inspirational Speaker of the Year. Welcome to the
Thank you
Professor of
so much.
Perseverance podcast. Let me get you on here, Dr. Willie. Have a holly jolly Christmas. Thank you, sir, for coming on and blessing us.
Well, it's this time of the year is perfect for my name and my spirit, and it is an honor and a joy to be on with you. And I'm so impressed with all that you have done and overcome. And I love being around overcomers because they give people some real life object lessons that show that it's possible. So whatever people are going through, they can say, it's tough, it's challenging, or I can't make it. And they can look at someone like you or hear my story and hear other stories and say, you know what? I can do it. I can get through it. That's what we want people to do. Be encouraged by it. So thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you again for giving your time out to be with us and get us all fired up. Again, it is that time of the year, and we all need some motivation, inspiration sometime in our lives, a lot
Yes.
of times in our life. But here, particularly with this COVID going on, and again, the holiday seasons, a lot of people just seem to struggle.
Well, this is a time that is unlike anything we've ever lived through. And before I get started, I have to start the same way because many people might be joining who know me or who listen to my Sirius XM show or listen to my daily radio show across the syndicated radio show. And they know I always start every interview, whether it's on my show or with others, with a poem that has become well known. And some people, when I won't do it or haven't done it in the past, will call or email and say, "What happened to you? Didn't do the poem." So I want to start off the right way. I have only
Yes.
just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. And I'm grateful for the minute, this moment, this opportunity. That minute was written by Dr. Benjamin Mays, who was Martin Luther King Jr.'s mentor at Morehouse College. And I am grateful for every minute and every moment I get to be able to share with people some ideas, some strategies, some principles, some techniques that will help them to overcome their challenges and to maximize their God-given ability. So thank you for having me. And I want to give a shout out to Phil R. Taylor, who connected us, and I'm grateful for his friendship.
I'm very blessed that Phil R. Taylor and I have crossed paths because now he has led me to you and other people that he's got acquaintance to over the years. That's very, very powerful messages to help out people. So,
Yes, yes.
all right, Dr. Jolly, Mr. Willie, could you go ahead and start us off now with your that was and that poem? That's all. That's the first time I heard it. And again, if we look at it, it's as brief as time as we're here on Earth. It's just 60 seconds compared
Yes,
to the eternity. And
that's
so, if
right.
we have to suffer, let's suffer as little as possible, and do what we can, and spread the love. Let's show people, like you said, if it's possible, if it can be done. Let's see someone show it, and then let's mimic it and do it. So.
Absolutely.
That would could you go ahead and start us off with your story, please?
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm Dr. Willie Jolley, and that's my real name, by the way. Some people will ask, "Come on, that's a made-up name for a motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, Jolly." Well, I actually was born for this reason. I was born for this cause. I was born for this mission, and and it took me a while to embrace it. See, I was a singer for many years. I was a nightclub singer. Those are some of the awards that I won over the years, many years ago when I was a nightclub singer. I won the award for Best Jazz Singer, Best Inspirational Vocalist, and won these awards. I created a popular nightclub act here in Washington, D.C., as well as I traveled to Atlantic City and places like that. And so it was going great. I did all the awards, best jazz singer, best entertainer, and had built a very popular nightclub act. People would line up at 7 o'clock for the 8 show, 9 o'clock for the 10 o'clock show. Well, one night I went in the nightclub. The club owner said, "We've made a change. We love your band, but we bought something else that's filling up nightclubs. We bought a karaoke machine. It's a lot cheaper. It's not personal." I said, "But what about my bills?" And I learned that night nobody cares about your bills but you and the people you owe. And I was devastated because I'd worked so hard to build this business, to build their clientele, to help them create a successful business, yet I got fired. I got re-engineered. You call it what you want, but it's fired. And so I didn't know what to do. All I knew to be in my life was a singer. And this was the top of the programming chain in the area. This was the #1 spot. And they were the best paying spot. And I said, what am I going to do now? I have no idea. A friend of mine gave me a book and a motivational tape. I'd never heard a motivational tape. And it was a guy on that table who said, in 5 years, you'll be the same person you are today, except for 2 things: the people you meet who inspire you and the books you read that empower you. That guy's name was Charlie Tremendous Jones. And then they gave me this book, Think and Grow Rich. So that same friend blessed me with 2 things that changed my life. I read the book, first book I'd ever read from cover to cover. And I started realizing that your thinking determines your actions. Your actions determine your habits, and your habits will determine your destiny. So I had to start doing different by thinking different. And I took a job while I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life after getting a new mindset, that there was a new opportunity somewhere. And I took a job with the school system as a drug prevention coordinator, talking to little kids about staying away from drugs. And it was during that year I discovered an ability I didn't know I had, to use words to communicate. And for the little kids, the teachers would say, "Wow, that was great. Can you come to my teachers group?" And someone there would say, "Can you come to my church?" And someone from the church would say, "Can you come to my company?" And it continued to grow. And one day, Les Brown, the great motivational speaker, invited me to be on tour with him and Gladys Knight. That allowed me to be introduced to some corporate people as well as the media people. I started getting more corporate events, and I got a little radio show due to the media in the introductions. From the little radio show, it got popular, got syndicated. I'm now on Sirius XM radio, where I have the #1 show in America for self-help. I'm also on the Radio 1 network daily across America, syndicated. I also have my own radio network on Jolley Media. If you go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, you can sign up for my newsletter. We'll send you a daily 1-minute motivational message Monday through Friday. So we've got all of these media, music, and then as a result of the successes of radio, a book publisher called and said, "Have you ever thought about writing a book?" I said, "No." He said, "Let me make you an offer." And I said, I just thought about it. My first book came out in 1999 called It Only Takes a Minute, Change Your Life. My second book came out a couple years after that, A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback. This put me on a global spotlight, or on a global radar screen. Then turned setbacks into greenbacks. Then An Attitude of Excellence. Then a book with my wife, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And then a PBS special. And all of these things started happening, and I started growing my business, going from being a local guy to a national, then an international. And then in 1999, I was honored to be named by Toastmasters International as one of the top 5 speakers in the world. And that meant I was joining people like Colin Powell, Norman Schwarzkopf, Nelson Mandela, Margaret Thatcher, Christopher Reeve. There have only been 50 people in the world who have been given that honor. And then in 2005, I was inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame. And in 2013, named a legend of the speaking industry. And that all happened because I had a setback. I had a devastating experience of what I thought at that moment, where I look back and I knew now that that was just a setup for my greater comeback. And in the book, A Setback, A Setup for a Comeback, my story is the first 2 pages only. It's 200 pages, one story after another story of people who've turned setbacks into comebacks. That's why I love this professor of perseverance. It's going to take perseverance to turn your setbacks into comebacks. It's going to have a positive mindset and a perspective that this setback is not the end of your story. So I've got stories about people who had setbacks, like a young man I interviewed had a small business, went bankrupt, lost his house, lost his car, but he came back and built a company called Daymark, one of the biggest merchandising companies in the country. Or how about the ninth grade math teacher I interviewed who was told she had terminal breast cancer, given 6 months to live? She said, I can't die now. They said, we're sorry, you got 6 months. She said, I can't die. I got too many children to teach. We're sorry. They sent her home to die. She said, no, I'm not dying. I'm going to live for 25 more years. They said, ma'am, you got about 6 months. Well, that lady lived for 33 more years.
Amen.
And when I interviewed her for my book, she said, tell the people in your book the doctors can give you the diagnosis, but God gives you the prognosis. Or how about the lady going up the corporate ladder, fighting to get to the top of the ladder, and they fired her, told her she was too old, that they didn't need her anymore, but she came back and bought the company. So you're going to have setbacks. The professor of perseverance has had a setback. Many of you have had setbacks. The difference is that many people will allow their setbacks to stop them, while others will allow their setbacks to propel them. I love the story in the book, Setbacks That Are for a Comeback book, about a little boy going through a forest. He comes upon an emperor moth struggling to make the transformation from a moth to a butterfly. He looks at his struggles to get through the small opening in the cocoon. An hour goes by, 2 hours, 3 hours. Finally, he takes out a penknife to cut a slit in the cocoon so that little bug won't have to struggle. And when he opens the cocoon with his knife, out falls a bug that's neither a moth nor a butterfly. Has a big bloated body, small, shriveled, undeveloped wings. He says, fly, but he could not fly. His wings were not developed. He went to get his grandfather. Grandfather, come look, what's wrong here? Grandfather said, what did you do? He said, I cut a slit to make it easy so it would not have to struggle. He said, my son, that's where the mistake was made. See, it is in that process of forcing his big body through that small opening that it forces the fluid out the body into the wings. Without forcing the fluid out the body into the wings will never develop. And a butterfly that does never develop his wings would not be able to fly. And a butterfly that can never fly will never survive in the wilderness. The moral of the story is that life and flight are in the struggle. We must, if we're going to go, many of you might listen and have children. When your children were infants, they learned to crawl on their hands and knees. But one day they got up on their own 2 feet. What happened next? They fell down. No one, and when they fell down and did that, not one of you parents said, oh, stay there, baby. Just stay there. I know it's hard. Stay. No, you said, get up and come to mommy, come to daddy. Baby got up and you said, and fell down again. And you said, do it again. And they fell down again. Sometimes they fell on their backsides, but sometimes they fell on their face. But you encouraged and said, do it again. Because you knew they needed to get up and try again if they're ever going to learn to move for themselves. So I want to say to all of you who might be going through a tough time in this time of COVID, we've got a pandemic followed by economic downturn, followed by massive job loss, followed by racial strife, followed by social upheaval, all happening at the same time. And it's a disruptive time in our lives. We've never seen anything like this, where everything is impacted. But I can tell you that this too is a setback. I can tell you that history shows that this too shall pass, because there was another pandemic, 1918. It passed. We've got to get through this by being wise, being positive, being persistent and persuasive and persevering and having a positive perspective about the future, because this is a great time to still be alive. You don't believe it? Try missing a day or two.
There you go. So, hey, to Think and Grow Rich, our buddy we mentioned him, Phil R. Taylor, he actually sent me a copy of that years ago for me to get started with my speaking. So yeah,
Wow.
Phil sent that to me. He thought enough of me and saw enough into me that he sent that to me. So,
Great, great.
hey,
That's a
and it,
great friend and a great
oh,
book.
yes.
In
And
fact, how
so,
about this? How about this? Let me give
yeah,
everybody a copy. Would it be okay to give everybody a copy? Because see
eh,
that when that guy gave me a copy and it changed my life when I was at my lowest point, and Phil gave you a copy. I've got a friend, Mr. Dudley, uh, President CEO of Dudley Hair Care Products, who's a multimillionaire. He started with
Joe, Joe
Joe
Dudley.
Dudley. That's right. He started with $10 at his kitchen table, and he has made millions and millions. He said he's read the book 300 times. The first 100 times got him rich. The second 100 times he said he keeps him rich, and the third 100 times was for insurance.
Yeah.
So let me give you this book. As you probably know, Phil and I were involved in a number of events for the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And so as a part of that, I give the book to friends who are struggling because somebody gave it to me when I was struggling. If you'll go to wjspeaks.com/gift, wjspeaks.com/gift, you can download a copy of the book right there, as well as Charlie Tremendous Jones said, in 5 years you'll be the same person you are, except for the people you meet and the books you read. You'll read that book, and there are also on that page people who I've interviewed on my XM show who have changed my life, who have been inspirational, informational, uplifting, encouraging, who have blessed me, and they will bless you. So please feel free to go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get my gift to everybody.
All right, thank you. And I'll put that in the description below and everything for everybody coming in, listening, and reading. And I'll put that link down there for them as well. So
Great.
thank you, Dr. Jolly. Now, you touched briefly, and how I don't know of anyone, and I'm sure there's somebody out there that's a lot smarter than me, but how many people have had their setback and use it, like you said with your title of your book, as a setup for a comeback. All right. Very few people have I've ever heard that goes, yeah, I had it all from the very beginning, and it was all figured out. And I mean, I'm sure there's some out there that get
There
those
might be
silver, they
somebody
get the
out there.
silver spoon already given to them, but still they had to struggle somewhere to be able to appreciate that.
Yeah, I think, if you go to a gym, anybody ever been to a gym? You go to the gym, there's sets of weights there. There's a 10-pound weight, a 20-pound weight, a 30-pound weight, a 50-pound weight, a 100-pound weight, 500-pound weight. Somebody going to the gym for the first time, it would not be advisable that they go to the 500-pound weight. The wise trainers and physical fitness experts, they start with the 10-pound weight and develop that muscle. Start with 10, and then once you master that, then 20, then 30, then up. And that's what we're saying about life. Life is a series of challenges. And it's through each level of the challenge that you get stronger and prepare for the next level of challenges. It's like going through school. You don't start at the 12th grade. You begin in kindergarten and you progress to the 12th grade. And each level, there's some test. Now, if you pass the test, you go to the next level. If you don't pass the test, you stay where you are until you do pass the test. That's life. Life is a series of tests and challenges that we must meet those challenges, learn from them. Does that mean you're going to make perfect decisions? No. We'll make the mistakes. We will mess up. I messed up so many times. I have made such stupid decisions sometime in my life. But thank God that I was willing and able to learn from them. So I didn't make the same stupid mistake twice. That's something that I hope we get people to understand, that we all make mistakes. That's why pencils have erasers. That's why computers have delete keys. We make mistakes. We're human beings. We make mistakes. But the prize is to be able to learn from that mistake and do better in the future. And that's what I want to encourage people to do. Learn from each mistake. Do better in the future. Go forward with mindset that I am blessed and grateful. Go forward with a mindset that this mistake, this failure does not mean that I'm a mistake, nor does it mean that I'm a failure. I had something in my activity base that did not make it, did not succeed. Okay, I can try another way. I can keep pursuing it and persevering. Oh, by the way, let me tell you something. I love Professor of Perseverance because many people think that the word perseverance is the same as persistence. And I want to say in a number of my books I've written about this, that perseverance and persistence are two different things. Perseverance is an attitude, a mindset, a willingness to keep pursuing your goals and dreams. Persistence is an action. You keep doing the same thing until you, or the same action or the same type of action until you achieve your goal. Perseverance, mindset; persistence, skill set or activity. So I love the professor of perseverance. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to have a mindset to keep going, to hold on, to hang in, to not give up. I'm in this for the long haul, and I'm refusing to quit. So I am grateful that every day I get a chance. I wake up every morning and I say, I got another shot. I get another opportunity to live my dreams, to do what I was born to do, to make a difference, to make a profit, make an impact, and to make some income. And so I'm grateful.
I got to give credit to where credit's due. My man, I don't know if you met or heard of John Bentley. He's a speaker, national speaker association as well, and we met. And one day, all of a sudden, he says, "Hey, you're the professor of perseverance." I said, "What?"
Wow.
I said, "What?" He said, "Well, you got a doctoral degree." I said, "Yes, that's professor." He said, "You want to talk to people about perseverance, don't you?" "Yeah, professor of perseverance." So, John Bentley, thank you again, brother. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. John, great job.
So now we mentioned mindset, and I'm a firm believer that here. Let me give you let me give you a small. Here's a small way that I can tell pretty quick if someone's a pessimist or optimistic. Go to any sporting thing, but we'll use football as an example. Say your team is down by 3 touchdowns, 21 points, and it's only the first half. And all of a sudden you hear, and then I'm going, well, the game's over. I'm just going to give me some chips and popcorn, go give me a beer over here, and it's over with. To me, I know there's a time in the game where it's too late. But at
Right.
halftime, it's not too late. If they can score 3 touchdowns and a half, maybe you can score 3 touchdowns and a half as well. And so I listen in sporting when people get down by 1 or 2 or 5 runs and they're going, "Oh, it's over with. It's time to go." And and to me, that's how their mindset is. When
Right.
something is already down and out, they're going, "It's no need playing anymore. No need doing anymore. It's over with."
You know, the great ones, and if you want to be a great one, I would encourage people. How many want to be a great one? Great. The great ones, they're not always great in terms of being famous. They might not be a household name. They might not be a celebrity, but they are great because of their willingness to keep going, to do what they were sent here to do, and do it with such a joy and a fervor and excitement. Whether you're just a great mother, you say, well, she was just a homemaker. No, not just a homemaker. She was a homemaker, but she raised great children. She kept the family going. Or they might be a small business person. They say, well, they have just a small mom and pop, but they were great because they were such a valuable part of their community. They were people who were the salt of the community. They were great. So greatness is about you making a commitment that you're not going to give up. You're not going to give in. You're not going to throw in the towel. You're going to find what you were born to do, your gift. And let me tell you, everybody has a gift. Everybody has a brilliance. It's not if you are smart. It's how are you smart. Everybody has some brilliance, some gifting, and then finding your gifting and then being willing to share it, to use it. Now, sometimes you will use it and you will get paid for it. And then sometimes you will use it and you'll get blessed for it. Now, what's the difference? You'll get paid. We know that's a monetary compensation exchange of dollars. But the blessing part is when it elevates your image to someone who said that person changed my life. I think about teachers in my life who were not wealthy, were not rich, but they changed my life. They poured into me. They encouraged me. They're great. I got a number of teachers now who I stay in touch with because of their impact. And they'll say, well, here's what I usually get. I did not know you were going to be the one who did something big with your life. You were so bad. You were so mischievous. You were so destructive. You were so just all over the place. I did not know as I was talking to the class that there would be something in you that would blossom and bloom. But you made us proud. And I'll say it was because you were willing to pour into all of us that someone heard it. I tell a story often. When I was in high school, 12th grade, there was an announcement one day on a PA system. We have a speaker come to the auditorium, everybody's come. I don't want to go hear no speaker. I had a bad attitude. I don't need to hear no speaker. I can do my homework. It's only a couple weeks late. She said, you need some motivation. You need to go hear that speaker. I said, no, I don't really want to go. She said, it's mandatory. Everybody has to go. I said, wow. I don't want to go, but I'll go because it's mandatory. But I'll sit in the back of the auditorium, throw my hood over my head and sing to myself, I'm not going to be listening to that speaker. And I didn't listen for the first few minutes, but then that man caught my attention with something he was saying, the way he was saying it. It was captivating. It was compelling. And I wanted to hear a little bit more. And he drew me in and I sat up straight in my chair and I pulled close to the edge because I wanted to hear exactly what he was saying. And when he finished, he walked down the aisle, right down the center aisle. And I jumped out of my seat. I went to grab the hand of that man. I wanted to thank him, but when I went to grab his hand, the words would not come out. I couldn't get. I was almost catatonic, and he bowed and nodded his head and said, "Have a good day, young man," and he left. And I was upset that I had not been able to tell him how much he had changed my life, but I was grateful that something had changed. A light switch had been turned on. A light had flipped up, and the light went from darkness to light. And so years went by, and about maybe 7, 8, 10 years ago, I don't know, I was on my way to give a speech in Los Angeles from Washington, D.C. I'm doing a layover in Denver, Colorado. I'm walking from one gate to the other, and I see that man. He was on his way to catch another flight, a connecting flight. And I walked over and said, "Excuse me, sir. I'm so sorry to bother you, but my name is," he said, "You're Willie Jolley." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I've got your books. I've seen you on PBS. I saw you in the Hour of Power. You were speaking at the Crystal Cathedral." I said, "Thank you, sir." He said, "Wow." I said, "Sir, that's not why I stopped you." I said, "Sir, do you remember coming to Roosevelt Senior High School many years ago now?" He said, "Wow, yeah, I was in D.C. and I went over and gave a speech to the students." I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "How'd you know?" I said, "Sir, I was in that class. I was in that auditorium. And sir, I couldn't tell you then. You said that one of the people in that room were going to do something great with his life. One of the people in that room was going to make a difference. And I couldn't tell you then. I can tell you now. I'm the one you were talking about. I'm the one you were talking to. I'm the one. And I took heed of that. I want to thank you. I want to thank you. And so I want to say to all of you, there's one of you who's watching, who's listening. I don't know where you are. I don't know what kind of household you come from. I don't know your economic situation, but I know that one of you got something special inside of you. One of you got something awesome inside of you. Once one of you got something inside of you that will change the world. I don't know which one it is, but I know for sure it's one of you. I hope to meet you one of these days, somewhere, maybe in an airport, maybe on the street, maybe you invite me to the White House. I don't know where I'll meet you, but I'm honored to be able to share this message with you today to let you know I know for sure that is one of you.
I got a quick story I tell you about the teacher that really influenced me. It was around Christmas time, this time of the year. You know, back in the fifth grade, sometimes you had those students would draw each other's names and then bring a gift, a small gift in.
Yep.
We had one student. He was poor, and we used to have board games once every 6 weeks. So he brought in a Fat Albert and a Gang board game,
Hmm.
missing pieces, broken cards. Brought that in a couple of months before Christmas to play once every 6 weeks. We did our drawing in December, and then I found out that this kid had drew my name. We were supposed to stay silent, but other kids were
Hmm.
telling me, and then they were saying he gave you that Fat Albert game. I said what? And here I'm in fifth grade, 12 years old or whatever. What? And he goes. They said yeah, and they go and tear a piece of the wrapping off for me to see Russell's shoe right there. Well, here I am down in the dumps and everything like that, thinking I'm getting an old board game, broken pieces, missing pieces. And sure enough, when it's time to give out, here I'm opening it up and everybody's watching me because they all knew what was going on. And the teacher sensed something was going on. And she got me after class because I used to walk to school back there. She got me after class and she says, James, I know this may not help you right now, but it's gonna years from now, you need to remember he probably gave you his best gift that he had,
Hmm.
being that he was poor. He probably
Hmm.
gave you his favorite toy, his best gift to you. And so it goes back to the Bible talking about the woman that gave the least,
Right.
gave the most.
Right.
And so, yeah, she really brought that home to me. And that guy, we were good friends for years.
Wow. That's a great story.
Before and after that,
Wow. A great
before
story.
the Christmas and everything. Yeah. So, Doctor Jolly, I appreciate you coming on here. I don't take all your time.
Well,
I
thank
can
you.
I can I can understand why you were named motivational, inspirational speaker of the year. I can understand it. I want to grow up and be just like you one day. So,
Thank you, Professor of Perseverance. You are a kind man and you are an inspiration to me and to so many others. And I want to thank you for having me on your program. And I want to encourage everybody again to go to winwithwillie.com. There's a song there called We'll Get Through This that will bless you. And then there are a number of other projects and websites, my faith-based website, my marriage website, my youth website. Go and look around at all the website and then go where there are the products. I have a product page there, and just go to the product page and you'll see my books, my audios. Get some books, will bless people. Get one for you and one for somebody you know needs to turn a setback into a comeback, or some of the other books. And then remember that if you go to wjspeaks.com/gift, wjspeaks.com/gift, you can get access to that free book. I want to give you a digital version as well as some of the audios. Thank you so much for letting me be with you today. It's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure. And as I say at the end of my Sirius XM show every week, for sure, your best is yet to come. God bless you. Thank you very much.
and God bless you, Dr. Willie, for this and everything. And I will be going to order me your book. Setback is a what
Set
is it?
up.
Setback, set up for comeback. I'm
There
definitely
you
going to
go.
get that. I want to read. I really enjoy reading other people's success as well. It helps
Great.
me move forward as well.
Great.
And thank you. Hey, a friend of mine, he's been on the whole time here. Jay, He said he's really enjoyed this. Jay, thank you for coming in, buddy. He and I went to high school together, graduated together. Appreciate you
Great.
coming in, Jay. Everyone
Great.
else, if there's any way I can help you can go to my website, professorofperseverance.com, and go in and look and see if there's something you can download to help you as well, professorofperseverance.com. All right, everybody else, be sure to share this out. Give it this audio out to this video to someone that you know struggling that needs help. Again, they don't have to be paralyzed. They're like me in a wheelchair. They don't have to be a singer that's got fired. As long as they're struggling, use this. This is great to help anybody. So go ahead and
Amen.
be sure to share, like, and subscribe to everything here. Follow. All right, everybody else, do something today, tomorrow, something next week that's going to help you persevere past your paralysis.